Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar today. Today we are going to talk about IOTA node and how to automate the process of provisioning, scaling, and maintaining this node using cloud scripting inside Jelastic Platform as a Service. And this topic will be covered by Jelastic CEO and co-founder Ruslan Synytsky. Ruslan, can you share a bit why you decided to cover this topic and what kind of details you're going to share today?
Hello, everybody. Hello, Tatiana, and welcome to our webinar. And guys, if you hear us, please say hello, give us some signs that everything is good, and that you see video good and you hear us well. And also, please write from which country you are and let us know where you're living, and just interesting to know from which cities, from which places people joining the webinar. And today we will talk about IOTA and Node, how it works in Jelastic, how it can be automated, and why specifically we decided to cover this topic. Because one of our end customers did a nice tutorial how to install IOTA node, and we like it. And actually, we saw there is decent level of interest from the community to this topic. We decided, okay, like how we can help customers that are interested in such kind of solutions, and how we can automate even more the work, and how we can educate you guys to do more advanced automation and enjoy after. So you would just write it once and then deploy it to many locations you want. Like, and in addition, I would like to highlight the benefits of Jelastic for specifically for such kind of project. So that's the main reason. And so I don't see any comments. Hopefully you guys hear us and see us. Let's go to the presentation. Good. So today we will talk about automating IOTA node installation with Jelastic cloud scripting. Little bit about myself. My name is Ruslan. I'm co-founder and CEO of Jelastic multi-cloud platform as a service. Many people say Jelastic is fantastic, and I agree with this statement. I'm a Java champion. Our project won 2 times Duke Choice Award, and in the past, I came from data centers management industry. Specifically, I was working in National Space Agency. I was leading engineer in National Data Center of Ukraine. So today we will talk about what kind of problems Jelastic solve, what Jelastic is actually, and what is IOTA, and reasons to run your own node, and some other important points like simplified deployments, pricing, which is very important to automated scaling, cloud scripting, and how to track and manage your node. So in short, what is Jelastic in general? It's important to understand because sometimes people don't fully realize that Jelastic is a software company. We don't operate our data centers. We provide turnkey software for installing on top of any infrastructure, on top of bare metal or on top of public clouds like Amazon, Google, and others. And we enable service providers to offer cloud businesses. So we collaborate with data centers around the world. This is our, let's say, business model. We work on software, and data center providers focus on infrastructure, and all together we bring a better solution to the market. So because everyone is focusing on what they do the best. What kind of problems we solve? First of all, complex infrastructure management, because manage big number of servers, big number of customers is not easy task. Jelastic helps significantly reduce complexity in this area. Also, we help developers to do their work more efficiently. Do not waste time on complex configurations, clustering, and load balancing, and continuous integration, continuous delivery. There are many built-in tools inside Jelastic, and you can just, in few clicks, to get ready to go production environments. And then you can easily create similar for development or for staging. So it helps you to be more productive at the end. And another important problem we solve is we fight overselling. We introduced a very interesting business model where you don't overpay for unused resources, so you only pay fair pricing for real resources you consumed. We will talk about this later. Our service providers actually use Jelastic to offer anything as a service. There are different sub-products inside Jelastic, like platform as a service, WordPress as a service, Magento as a service, like any kind of application as a service can be hosted within Jelastic. Database as a service, Kubernetes as a service as well, and even infrastructure as a service. So this is a very important slide. We collaborate, as I mentioned, with data center providers around the world. There are more than 100 data centers already in about 38 countries, and the number is growing every month. So we add new partners. We want to make very decentralized and distributed cloud. So you will not depend on one service provider. You will be able to migrate from one to another, or you will be able to utilize resources of multiple providers and deploy like geo-replicated topologies. So this is our very big advantage. Actually, we work with smart service providers around the world. Another important point to highlight: Jelastic is not for miners. We actually not against the cryptocurrency at all. Like we, like it's a. I believe there is a good potential in this. But however, infrastructure that is running by hosting service providers is not designed for mining. Because you need like different kind of infrastructure for this, like, and just doesn't make sense even to like to run mining nodes within Jelastic. Even more, like it's automatically checked, and such kind of accounts are automatically suspended. So, but what is IOTA? It's distributed technology that helps, actually, which is not based on blockchain. And based on Tango, and I hope actually guys that joined the meeting are from IOTA community. You actually know better than me what is IOTA, but we see community is growing, and there is a good interest from this community to automation and to our platform. So we decided to explain how you can make it work even more efficient. Some general information about IOTA benefits. So there are no fee transactions. There is a possibility to do like micro transactions as well. Speed is near real-time operations, and it's IOTA friendly solution. And good point that IOTA cannot be mined, so it fits very well for Jelastic, as I mentioned previously. So what are the benefits and reasons to run your own IOTA node? First of all, the more people join and find the consensus, the faster and more scalable the currency will become. And the network will be more, again, like scalable, and operations will be performed faster. Also, installing a full IOTA node, you support your own investment in the token. Because again, like the whole network will be more stable, more scalable, transaction will happen faster. Some people that want to run statistics on live data, for them, personal node can give better performance at the end. Like, so you don't connect to a remote node, you have your own node and you can do work faster. Also, you can run your own node for your own needs, for example, and do not depend on SLA of third parties, right? And another option, you can offer hosted services for somebody who is interested in such kind of nodes. So there are different kind of benefits. Actually, I found them at this link. Some people were discussing what is the reason to run your own IOTA node. So please feel free to join this conversation and maybe add your additional benefits. Let's talk a little bit about Jelastic, how it works, and what it is from end customer point of view. We have like topology wizard where you can choose different software stacks, languages, first of all, Java, PHP, Ruby, Node.js, Python, Go. And there are predefined container runtimes, so you can choose different stacks that are already pre-configured for you, and some of them are pre-configured in clustered mode. So you just click how many nodes you need, and Jelastic will provision cluster for you. There is easy way to scale vertically. You just drag and drop the slider, and there is easy way to scale horizontally. You just press plus or minus. And there is a possibility to run custom Docker containers. You just search in public Docker Hub, let's say, and deploy inside Jelastic, and Jelastic will provision an environment for you. Additional functionalities people like a lot. It's built-in deployment functionality tools for creating, let's say, like simple continuous integration, continuous delivery pipelines, where you can point your repository, specify some credentials, and predefine hooks for pre-deployment or post-deployment hooks, and define some deployment strategies, and even check automatically new updates and deploy it to your cluster. So for automation, we use cloud scripting and APIs mostly. So we have also CLI, which is useful as well, but majority of people use like cloud scripting and APIs. So cloud scripting is our own technology, which is based on actions, events, and injections. There are a lot of events. You can subscribe, let's say, your custom actions, right, and execute additional logic, let's say. Yeah, and API is extensive as well. We have like public and private APIs. Private API is mostly for system administrators, for cluster administrators, and public API for end customers. Then we have marketplace of pre-configured applications and clusters and add-ons, where you can choose solutions you need. The most popular are, of course, like WordPress, like Kubernetes, Magento, MariaDB cluster, Docker Swarm, and others. Now let's talk about IOTA Node. So what we did actually, we packaged IOTA Node as a solution, which will be later available in our marketplace. We took for the base, the instruction which was published in the internet recently by one of our customers. We appreciate this effort very much. So we just took the logic from this instructions and put them into automation scripts. And today we will explain how it works exactly. But we also extended this functionality by additional features like built-in SSL and basic authentication, which is useful from the beginning. It's protected by simple basic authentication. And there is a GitHub repo where you can find the source code and the manifest for deployment. We will talk about this in a bit. Good. So how we do automation in general. So let me walk through this process. I will show you how it looks like. So first of all, you need to have an account and jump into developer's dashboard. To get an account, you need to go to jelastic.cloud. We have .com, which is website of our company, but .cloud is a catalog of service providers around the world. So you can choose by region whenever you're located, for example, in Europe, right? Or if you want to specify specifically like Switzerland, so you can filter by specific country. Please pay attention, different service providers offer different pricing and offer different data center locations, as well as quality of support and performance. So this catalog gives you a better understanding which provider can fit for you, for your needs. Great. So after you create an account, let's say you sign up an account, and then you go to dashboard, and you go to tab. Actually, you can play like this. Go to Docker and maybe choose Docker, deploy Docker, and configure it manually, right? Or you can go directly to this import button, and you will see something like this, like empty in the window. And then you go to this repo, and you can copy our example and paste here, right? And actually, it's already done. Full automation is already done. Let me walk quickly through what specific fields means. Like, so first of all, there is a type. Type can be install or update. Install means you create a new environment. Update, it means you want to apply this automation logic for already existing environment. Version you just specify minimum requirement for the platform, because different providers run different platforms. Maybe there is some outdated platform that you don't want to run. But in general, if you don't specify, it's okay as well. Then you define like ID for your automation script. Like it's necessary to give some ID, and then name, which will be visible for end customer or for you when you install. And then you define like base URL. This is used for the next links used inside automation script. For example, you can see like logo. It's already a relative link to this base URL. And I point this base URL to actually to this repository in GitHub, because I have here like images, right? And I have here like some templates. Yeah. Then coming back, some homepage, just for better visibility, some descriptions to give better understanding what the package is about. And then we define like global environments, yeah, where you can use these environments later in your logic. For example, in this script, I define like user, I define password, and I define salt. And now we're coming to nodes definition. So every environment consists from some nodes. What it is like? This is a nodes. Like you see, like for example, this is a Tomcat node. There are like three Tomcat nodes, like in one Nginx node. All these nodes are deployed inside an isolated and separated container. As you can see, manually I can define different kind of topologies. You can do the same with automation logic. In our case, we need only one node, and we specify number of cloudlets. So cloudlet, it means unit of resource. We measure your consumption. One cloudlet is equal to 128 megabyte and 400 megahertz of CPU. So in general, actually, if you calculate in megabytes, 16 or gigabytes, sorry, 16 cloudlets will be equal to gigabyte. Then you specify like node type, what kind of node type you want. And we will run Docker engine and then deploy containers inside Docker engine. Because it was done in this way in the, let's say, installation instruction, so we decided just to reuse the same logic. So you need to provision Docker engine, community edition. And then we define node group. Node group is a layer where you put, coming back here, we have like different layers. It's like BL, balancing layer, CP, like compute layer, SQLDB layer, NoSQLDB layer, like storage layer, VPS layer, and others. So extra layer. So you just define where you want to place your IOTA node. Then we define, okay, we need external IP address. So you just say like external IP is true. So till now we have like definition of our topology. If we stop here and press button import, we will see something like this, right? Where you can define name for your environment. Then just display name, like you can say like example here, like whatever you want. And then you can choose different regions. For example, this demo cluster has like 4 regions available for me. Yeah, and ownership, there is a possibility for collaboration. I would say like some customers will not have it because if you don't share environment account with anyone, you just don't see this. And there is a description, there is our name, and there is our logo and homepage, right? So everything we defined it before. But it's not enough because we need to do additional actions after installation. Specifically, in this case, we want to run Let's Encrypt container inside Docker engine. Then we want to set up node, IOTA node, and then we want to launch and run this IOTA node. So we define it like 3 actions here, right? On install. On install, it's an event that happens after your nodes have been provisioned. So right after the node provision, on install will be triggered. And then it will execute sequentially these actions. And then you define actions. We have different, let's say, built-in actions like CMD, right? CMD, it's like a bash inside your container. So it's like executing your script through SSH. Pretty simple, right? So you just don't do it manually. You just automate your logic. You put your bash logic here. We have other kind of predefined actions where you can discover here, actions, right? Like CMD, API, deploy, upload, unpack, and so on. There's a pretty good number of examples, and documentation is pretty extensive how it works. So let's talk about our logic specifically. And so in this case, to run Let's Encrypt, we deploy like 2 containers, Nginx proxy and Acme companion for Nginx proxy. And we just define specific parameters that are required. So as you can see, we again like use base URL placeholder to download our template from Git repo. Cool. So after Nginx is ready, SSL will be issued, and then we need to set up IOTA node. So what we do? We clone this repo, which is Go Hornet. This is based on community driven IOTA node. You can actually point another project. We just use this one because it was mentioned in the tutorial. Then we install some additional tool for working with JSON. Yeah. Then we change our directory. Then we create some hash for password. We do some logic here, creating our password and specifying this inside config JSON, right? And then we create the necessary directories. We change ownership for the directories, and then we adjust a little bit Docker Compose. We believe it's necessary to adjust, to change some parameters there, like specifically network mode. Yeah, network mode. And after it's done, we run another action which is called run node. And what we do, we change again like directory. We define some environment variables which are necessary for running this node, and then we do build of our container, and then we do compose up. And after we run some cycle to check when node is up and running. So we check this port, and as soon as it's done, we finish execution of the section, and you will receive credentials to your email, and you will see it in the dashboard. So that's it, guys. In short, you can extend this logic by your own needs, like to add something else, like, or to change number of cloudlets, increase resources, or whatever you prefer, like to change some additional parameters here. And how it works at the end, let me create it, node. Yeah, I choose this region, I print example, and I press button install. So the system will create containers for you and deploy all the sections. And let's say like in 3-5 minutes, you will get up and running IOTA node. Please keep in mind, some time is necessary to sync up data inside your node from the network. If you face any error during the installation, just try to repeat, because we are trying to find out, maybe like, it's a very quick demo, like, so maybe something is not fully covered yet. Some exceptional situations, but just again, like it should work. If it does not, just try to repeat again, like import and install. So, but I have already pre-deployed IOTA nodes. Everything went smooth for me. And let's jump inside and see what it has. This is the dashboard. Actually, it's already under the password. I was just logged in before. This is the reason why it did not ask me password, but let me probably, can I sign out? No, probably cannot. Yeah, but in any case, yeah, we will check on the new node. So you can see some statistics, transactions per second, memory usage inside, right? Then some neighbors and yeah, like additional stuff here. I am not actually expert in this, guys, so excuse me. But yeah, and this is your network. Yeah, you can see like nice graph here. Pretty nice dashboard. I like it very much. Pretty simple and illustrations looks good. Good. So that's it, guys. That's how it works in short. What else you need to know? How to check your statistic usage, because it reflects money at the end, right? You go here like statistic, right? And you can see the real consumption. So as I mentioned, Jelastic is pay-per-use based. You don't pay for the limit 2 GB, you pay only for what you consume. In this case, like it's 644 megabytes, right? And CPU is pretty low at this moment. There is some decent load on IO. And then you can go to billing history and see some, statistic based on consumption per hour, like, or per day, like, or per week, per month. So that's in short. So while our new node is provisioning, let's jump to presentation. And by the way, I forgot to mention, if something went wrong, you can go and see, like, you just add console to the dashboard name. You just print here like console, right? Console, and you will get to this page. If you are signed in, you will see your logs. You see, like, it's beginning installation. Yeah, like here, beginning installation, then run LE companion, then setup node, and then run node. Yeah, good. One moment. Yeah, somebody said like Zoom code. Let me try to make it, yeah, like this. Zoom code. Good. So let's go back to the presentation. Yeah, as I mentioned, statistic, you just press button statistic, and you see the statistics. There are additional buttons like logs, configs, SSH, and interesting and very unique billing model Jelastic introduced, and it's available across all partners. So you don't pay for the limits as you usually pay with traditional VPSs or traditional cloud vendors, where when you request virtual machine, for example, 16 GB of RAM, but you consume only 2 or 4 GB of RAM, you always pay for 16. With Jelastic, it's completely different. You don't pay for the limits, you pay for what you use, because it's much more fair. We came from development world, like we know like that some service providers, majority of them actually, oversell unused resources. We don't believe it's a good idea. So this is the reason why we introduced this pay-per-use. And it saves a lot of money, specifically when you have many containers. You don't need to think about, oh my God, like how to fine-tune these containers, like how much resources per each. Like, and if your guess is wrong, like you will have downtime. Or, I mean, if you allocate it less than is necessary, or if you allocate it more than is necessary, you overpay. Like, so it just doesn't exist anymore within Jelastic. You pay for what you use, and it's fair. It works perfectly. And then some additional things about billing to consider. There is a button like to check your balance, to refill, configure after refill payments, to check your quotas and billing histories. You can do some estimation of environment you create in advance, some rough estimation, but the best situation is to go after 1 hour and see your billing history, how much exactly you pay per hour. There is some examples of running Newton node, cost of running Newton node on different vendors. As I mentioned, please note, different vendors offer different quality of infrastructure, different quality of services. So the price is different. And the cost of living in different countries is different as well. Like there is different ranges of cost within Jelastic platform. You can see, like, so choose whenever you like in the country you live, close to your customers or to yourself, and yeah, enjoy the wide choice of providers. If you need a little bit more resources that, for example, your IOTA node is very busy with transactions, became very busy with transactions, and for example, if 2 GB is not enough for you, you can easily just drag and drop slider and add more limits to the same node. You don't need to do anything else. There is no necessity to migrate to another VPS. You just add resources to the same container. And again, it's different comparing to other vendors, because usually how it works, if you buy like 2 GB of RAM, you can add a little bit more, like, or like 1 GB more, right? You must buy it like twice bigger machine in the most cases. And let's imagine if you buy like 16 GB and you need like 2 GB more, like 18. Majority of cloud vendors will force you to buy like twice bigger machine. It means that you will buy like 32 GB of RAM. But another problem is that you have to do migration manually. There is no easy way to do like automatic migration from old machine to a new one. With Jelastic, this problem just does not exist at all. We bring resources to the same container, so you can easily scale up and down without any problems. No need to migrate your applications. Good. There is a possibility to do also additional things like direct SSH. So you can script some additional stuff there manually, or check like firewalls, define like auto horizontal scaling, define load alerts triggers, and so on. So there are a lot of functionality, by the way, to discover and enjoy. That's it, guys, in short. Hopefully you like it. Yeah, let's see if our node is ready. Yeah, you see our node is ready now, and you have URL, you have login and password. You go here and you print like admin password, and done. Our IOTA node started to work. That's it, guys. So hopefully again you like it, and I'm looking forward to getting your questions, and please give it a try and let us know what you think about this. We will publish this IOTA node in our marketplace, and it will be available during the next several days across all the partners around the world. Thank you very much.
Sorry, you didn't hear me. Thank you, everyone. And in the chat, we shared the link to the GitHub project that Ruslan just showcased. So you can already try this package, and you can try them on any of the service providers that support Jelastic platform. So go ahead, try, and get back to us with your feedback and with your questions. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. See you in social media. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.